Hi, Omega Khaos here again with another real-life deck profile, and this time I am showing my updated Salamangreat deck before Chaos Impact, of course, when the Pyro Phoenix comes out. But of course, with the new ban list and stuff like that, although of course the most recent ban list didn't really affect this deck much at all. And also to keep in mind, I don't have Cyanide Mining, which is actually pretty important for this deck, but I think I kind of made it work without that card. But unfortunately, obviously, it's not going to be as competitive as with that particular card, because that is a very expensive one. So I guess let's go over this deck. So first the monsters, of course. First is one Salamangreat Gazelle, of course. This card was put to one in the previous ban list before this most recent one. And of course, it's a very essential card for this deck, obviously. You need to get access to this card as soon as possible, because this pretty much sets everything up. Then, of course, I use triple Salamangreat Spinny. Of course, another very essential card. A really good rank 3 enabler, and of course, it's just really good. Then I use a triple Salamangreat Foxy, the really nice prismatic Sigit rare ones from the most recent Negatin. Yeah, obviously a really good card as well, of course, getting access to your important cards in the deck, and as a pretty good secondary ability as well to destroy those pesky floodgates. Then I use triple Salamangreat Foul, which is a really good rank 4 enabler, and also of course link enabler as well, but I use this card at 3 for a particular reason, for a particular card you will see later. Then of course I use one Salamangreat Jaguar, of course, still a really good card for this deck. Maybe even you may won't even run this card at multiples, but I'm not particularly sure about it yet. Then I use one Salamangreat Falco, which is the last monster in the main deck, last Salamangreat monster in the main deck, I mean. So of course, still really good as well. Then of course I use one Lady Debug, of course, still a really important card, I think. Then I use double Flame Buffalo. I decided to use this card because it's actually really good. You discard the Cybers, then you draw 2 cards if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, so that's or it just leaves the field, I mean. You might want to run 3, but I decided to run only 2 because you might just have too many normal summons, and then it just isn't really that great if you draw like too many of those cards. Then I use a double Sea Archiver. For a long time I used a backup secretary instead of this, but I think this is actually better, because you can discard it for Flame Buffalo or other cards, especially if you had like Cyanide Mining access to that card. But it's definitely really good, I would say. Definitely really good rank 3 enabler, so obviously if you exceed some of it, you can just detach it, and then it won't get banished as well. Then some hand traps, of course, triple Ash Blossom and Show Spring. Of course, I think it's right now pretty much the best hand trap, aside from maybe like Nibiru, of course, which is a crazy card. So yeah, and also triple Effect Wear, which are the last monsters in the main deck. Definitely pretty good as well. And now let's see the spell cards. Of course, first I use, of course, one Salamangreat Sanctuary, of course, still very much needed. Then I use double Will of the Salamangreat, of course, really good extender. Just revive any Salamangreat from the graveyard, continue spell, really good. And that has good, very nice secondary ability as well if you want to go off even more. You might even want to run it at 3, but right now I'm not really sure. I think it's fine at 2, because obviously you can only activate this card's effect once per turn. Then I use, of course, one Vision of Fire. I still use this card. I think it's still very powerful, going second at all the KO point pretty easily. Then I use, of course, one Salamangreat Circle, because it was put to 1 in the previous ban list as well. obviously still very essential. Now for the important card, as a Signet Mining replacement, I'm actually using triple Signet Backdoor. You might even want to use alongside Signet Mining if you wanted to, but right now it works as a pretty decent replacement, because one of the main combos you can do in this is you summon the Salamangreat monster, any one, yeah. And then someone like Salamangreat Fowl after that, then you can banish Salamangreat Fowl to search out Gazelle, then you can go from there. So definitely, I think it definitely can work in this deck quite well. So yeah, but if I got Signet Mining, I will consider taking it out, of course. Then of course I use a triple Corbel Grave to counter those hand traps, and can be good against some decks as well. I'm not sure about this card, it still might be necessary, but I'm not exactly sure, because this deck can play through quite a lot of hand traps actually without this card. Then traps. So only 2 traps I run, 3 copies each are of course triple Salamangreat Roar, because you don't have as much of an easy access for Gazelle, you might want to run these traps at multiples for sure, so you don't have to like just get the one. If you have one of those traps, you can just send the other one and stuff like that. So I think it just takes some of the pressure away to just always send those trap cards to the graveyard with Gazelle. And of course the triple Salamangreat Rage as well. So of course, like I explained with the Roar, so you might even want to run some other trap cards as well, like Solemn Judgments, Solemn Strikes and stuff like that. But right now I just didn't really have the space for those cards. So that was traps and the whole main deck. Now let's next deck, of course, like I said, is before Chaos Impact comes out. So no Pyre Phoenix. I will definitely include that card in this deck, 2 copies at least, because that card is actually pretty good, I think. But of course, since it's a secret rare in Chaos Impact, and I need 2, which means it's probably going to be pretty expensive to get. And right now our priority is not with Salamangreat, because I'm trying to build the pure Cyber deck, which is definitely a challenge because of those game promos and whatnot. So let's see the next deck. So first, of course, I use Salamangreat Violet Chimera, of course, with the Vision of Fire, of course, and still a very powerful card to auto carry opponent. Then I use one number 41, Baguska. I think it's still pretty good to go first turn into it if you can, because obviously Abyss Dweller is really good, but it doesn't really work against every deck. But this card actually works against most decks, I think. Then I use, of course, the Abyss Dweller, of course, really good against decks like Orcust and stuff like that. So definitely really nice. Then I use, of course, one Salamangreat Minas Tallio. I always go back with either running 1 or 2 of this card. I'm never really sure what the ratio should be. Like 1 should always be enough, because it's just going to set up your play and you don't really need the second one. At the same time, this card might get stopped and you might want to get the other one, but not exactly sure. But yeah. Then I of course use a double Salamangreat Heat Leo. Of course, a very important card, obviously. I have now the Prismatic Sigter with the original art as well, so pretty nice. Definitely really good card for this deck to get us all the case with Violet Chimera, or just get rid of back row. Then of course I use triple Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, of course still very much a key extra deck monster for this deck. Then of course I use triple Salamangreat Balinx, of course still very essential to get Salamangreat Sanctuary and go with extra protection as well. I might cut it down to 2 in the future, depending on extra deck space, of course, because I want to add Pyre Phoenix eventually to this deck. So I definitely will have to cut some cards from this extra deck. Then I use one Transcode Talker, because it combos very well in this deck. you flag update shimmer and stuff like that to yeah, pretty much watercare your plant if you can. And one update shimmer to go alongside transcode token, so definitely pretty good. And finally, the last extra monster is Nightmare Phoenix. It's still really good to destroy back row, and of course it's a fire monster as well. So that was extra. So that was my update Salamangreat real life deck profile. Of course, I still really enjoy this deck. Still kind of pretty competitive, I think, especially with the most recent ban list, the top decks getting hit quite a lot. So we'll see what happens in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this real life deck profile. For now, goodbye and Khaos out.